Club Grief, Season 2. It's December 2024. The holidays. Yeah, they are rough to deal with when you're in grief. So, let's talk about it. And he said, Merry Christmas. And I walked out to the car. And just as right now, I started to cry. So if it is the holidays for you, and in this country, it usually starts Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. It's hard when you're dealing with grief. The holidays were my wife Heidi's favorite time of the year, and my daughter's too. But without her, it doesn't feel like the holidays. Not at all. Sure, you see all the lights, you hear all the Christmas songs on the radio, and you have people saying, Happy Holidays, Merry Christmas. It still goes on without a loved one. We had spent 30 holiday seasons together. Yeah, 30, since 1993. And I can count on my hand, maybe, the ones where I was not into the holidays. And all of those had to do with lack of money. But my wife always made it a point to make it happy for myself and especially for my daughter. So now, without her, it is not the same. Maybe you here in Club Grief are feeling the same. And let me talk about Club Grief for a second and why I started this. I started back in 2020 during the pandemic when everything was shutting down and people didn't know what to do, and I was fortunate to work remotely. My day job, video editor, but I'm also a singer-songwriter, recording artist, composer, lyricist. So I do know how to edit. I do know how to produce. I do know how to host. I know all that. And then I just got the idea of, I like talking to people and finding about their journey. And I started My Friend Glenn. And I spoke to about 10 people, and it was fun, and I had a great time doing it, but it was just taking too much time away from work and family and my music. So I put it on hold. Then I came back a little later, and I wanted to tell a story about growing up and how my life was so strange growing up as a child from early on until my late 20s. And that's called Growing Up White. It's weird. I know it's a strange title, but if you listen to it, you'll figure out and find out how strange it really is. And then then in February 23, 2024, when Heidi passed away, I didn't know how to express myself. I was going through, and still am, PTSD and anxiety, depression, grief, everything that's associated with that. I looked at the reports and the evaluations from my doctors, and it's really scary. And the only way I figured I could express myself is talk about it. And nowadays, everybody has a podcast, and they're usually trying to sell you something for the most part. I'm not. There's no class. There's no book. There's no course you can take that I'm trying to sell you. I just want to talk about my life and what I'm going through right now. I've been around for many, many decades, and I always wanted to express myself and connect with people who maybe need a little help or maybe need some comfort in hearing my voice and can identify with that. I do the same thing with my songs. It's the same exact thing, reaching out, and I'd like to touch people. So if you're here and you want to support me, I don't know how you would do that. I don't know how to take donations. I don't have any merch. I don't have any commercials. I don't have sponsorship. I don't even know how that works. All I know is I'm here and I'm talking, and I just want to connect with people. So that's the reason I started Club Grief. Okay, so back to the holidays. I started today's episode by saying, and he said, Merry Christmas. Okay, here's how that came about. Get up this morning, or I had a therapy session today. I went out with my little dog, my ESA, George. I went to Starbucks, and the baristas there, I gave them a holiday card, and I said happy holidays, and they were very, very grateful, and they've been so kind to me since I started going to them about a year ago. Then I went to the pet store where George gets groomed, and I left a card there on the desk for the groomer who takes wonderful care of George. And George got groomed yesterday. He's so cute. And if you want to look at me or look at George on Instagram, Glenn with 2 N's, Glenn Darby, there's a picture of George, and there's some grief and songs, things there. So if you want to connect, I'm on Instagram, IG as they call it. If you want to reach out, that's fine. And then I went to another pet store where he gets treats. They always give him a little treat, and get his pet food there. And I walked in, I said, just want to say happy holidays from me and George. I put a card down. And I said, happy holidays. And as I turned to walk away, he said, Merry Christmas. And it hit me, Merry Christmas. And I said, Merry Christmas. And that's how I started today's episode. Okay, so how are you dealing with the holidays? How are you dealing with the grief and holidays? Are you feeling as isolated and as alone as I'm feeling? I think there's comfort in talking to some other people about it. I think it's wonderful to mention the person who has passed. And there are certain things that'll hurt and hit. For example, I was signing a document at my accountant's office, and underneath my signature, it said, surviving spouse. And I couldn't sign it. I said to the person there, can you just give me a minute? I need to have a moment. And I took a moment, and then I signed it. So maybe now is the time to take a moment. Don't get crazy. Don't get caught up in the hustle and the bustle of the holidays. You have to do this, have to do that. Just be with yourself. And it feels good, be with someone else. And if there's someone you can talk to about it, even better. There are organizations out there. I'm going to volunteer for an organization to talk to people in the new year. Okay, so to wrap up 2024, the holiday season, it doesn't have to be happy. It doesn't have to be merry. It doesn't have to be anything at all. Just let it be what you want it to be. Be here now. It's okay to be by yourself. I have spent holidays by myself. Hard as it was, I know I was okay. And you know what? You're okay to be okay as you are. There is no right or wrong way to grieve. There is no one path. There is no timeline. It's whatever you need it to be. And I want to thank you for allowing me into your life to share my grief journey with you, to share my thoughts with you. And I hope it helps you or someone you know it might help. And I will see you with more Club Grief in the new year of 2025. Be well. Bye for now.